NBA news to cover. Kyrie Irving is opting into his 37 million player option for the 2022-2023 season. So that means that he is probably not going to be getting traded anytime soon. Irving is bypassing on multiple opt-in and trade scenarios to fulfill his 4-year commitment to the Nets and Kevin Durant. I made a video about Kyrie a little less than a week ago when the news that he might be getting traded came out, and I didn't get to upload it, but basically all I said in that video was like, I think it's kind of a bad move basketball wise for Kyrie to leave. Like, there was no other situation, no other team that could help him win as much as this team with Kevin Durant already. And same goes with Kevin Durant. I didn't see any reason for him to want to trade to leave anywhere, because I don't see anywhere that could be as fulfilling or as, like, you know, a good winning scenario for him. Same with the Brooklyn Nets. I didn't see any trade scenarios where they could get back equal value for Kyrie right now, because obviously Kyrie's value, however great of a player he is, his shenanigans and his just himself brings down his own value as a player because of just all of the vaccine stuff, and he just it's just Kyrie Irving. So in that video, I basically summarized that I think it would be best for Kyrie to just resign and take whatever money the Nets give him, or that the Nets should just give him whatever money he wants, however many years he wants, and he seems to be opted into his player option, which makes him an unrestricted free agent next year. There's the possibility that he might get traded this season. It's still possible. Anything can happen. But if he takes his player option, I don't really see them making a midseason trade for Kyrie to go anywhere. I think in that scenario, it would have to be like a really bad season for the Nets and just Kyrie being like horrible or something. I just don't see it happening at all. So I think that he's going to play out the rest of this year. And then going forward, I think you can't really predict with Kyrie at all. He's said a lot of stuff about re-signing and then not, and then getting traded and not, and whatnot. I never really bought that he was going to be a Laker or anything like that. For now, it seems like Brooklyn is intact. I don't think Kevin Durant will be leaving anytime soon, and I think this is the best scenario basketball-wise for everyone involved. Kyrie Irving on a quote: "Normal people keep the world going, but those who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow. I've made my decision to opt in. See you in the fall." What are you talking about, bro? I'm sorry, Kyrie. I like some of Kyrie's like politics, I guess you can say. I like some of his opinions. Obviously, I don't really agree with the flat earth or the vaccine stuff. That's his own things. I don't believe in that at all. But like, some of his politics I like, but this is just kind of silly, bro. You're accepting a player option for $37 million. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Who dares to be different in this scenario? I don't know. I just think this is a really dumb quote, but it's also really funny. And then afterwards, Kyrie posted this GIF on Twitter. "I know who I am." Sure. I don't even care at this point. Kyrie, you can do whatever you want. I like how it's from the show Shameless, because Kyrie really does not have any shame at all. He really has zero shame at all. Rockets and John Wall have reached a buyout agreement, shaving $6.5 million off of his $47.4 million salary. So John Wall, obviously, on his super big contract, this upcoming season was his last year on the contract. He had a $47.4 million player option. Obviously, he accepted it. Obviously, he should accept it. It's $47 million. There's really zero reason for him to turn that down. And him and the Rockets finally came to a buyout. They didn't come into a buyout agreement last season, and John Wall ended up not playing at all last season. Even though, they wanted to play the young guys, which makes sense, but like they didn't want to play him at all, which I thought was kind of weird. So now John Wall is a free agent, and John Wall has decided to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, which, to be honest, is not much of a surprise back last year when there was talks of him getting traded or getting bought out, the Clippers were one of the highest teams on that list because the Clippers are very much a win now team. They have Kawhi, they have Paul George. Obviously, they want to win now. They don't have any future assets in terms of picks or anything like that, and they have lacked point guard play the entire time that Kawhi and PG have been together. They have Reggie Jackson, and Reggie Jackson is a fine point guard. He's not like that much of a true point guard. He's sometimes more of a scoring. Like he wants to get his own points and score. He has been clutch in the past for them, but he has also had a lot of dumb plays and dumb numbskull stuff that he's done. So John Wall is basically guaranteed, I believe, a point guard starting role with the Clippers now, which is quite interesting. You know, John Wall really has not played a full season of basketball since 2018 or something like that. Then he went through all of his injuries and everything. He did play around 20 games 2 years ago with the Rockets, I believed, and in that span he averaged 20 and 6 or something like that, 20 and 7 assists, something like that. He looked fine. I didn't really watch many Rockets game back then either, but you know, he's had this whole last year out. He's probably been in shape, working out, and now he's joining a winning scenario. He said that he wanted to play for Tyronn Lue, their coach. So now the starting lineup for the Clippers, John Wall and Reggie Jackson at the point, probably John Wall starting. You still got Norman Powell at the 2. Then you got Kawhi and PG. PG probably playing the 3 and Kawhi playing the 4. And then you have Zubac at the 5. And you still have Robert Covington off the bench. You still have Nicholas Batum off the bench, Luke Kennard off the bench, Reggie Jackson off the bench. So this Clippers team is, I'm not going to say stacked, but they are, I'm excited to watch them. I think that they have a really well-rounded team already, even without making any trades or anything like that. They have defense, they have scoring. You know, Kawhi and PG is a great duo, and I believe in Kawhi as long as they stay healthy. I can very well see them being a top 3 seed in the West. Maybe Kawhi doesn't play as much load management stuff and whatnot, and they don't get that high of a seed, but I would be surprised if they were less than a 4 seed, to be honest. I think they're that good. And last year, the Clippers, not last year, the year before, the Clippers pushed the Utah Jazz and defeated them even after Kawhi got injured in the playoffs, and Paul George by himself, along with Reggie Jackson and such, defeated the Utah Jazz, and they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals against the Suns. And I think they took the Suns to 6 games, and that was without Kawhi at all. So now they have Kawhi back. John Wall, if he just plays like a pure point guard type of role, passes the ball to Kawhi and PG, he can do his drives and all that. He's not that much of a shooter, but I think if he just plays his role really well as just a point guard facilitating, I think this is a really, 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 really good signing for the Clippers. And good for John Wall. He stuck it out. He didn't play last season at all, and now he got bought out. He's making $40 million for the rest of the season, and the Clippers don't have to pay him that much. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much he's getting signed for the Clippers, but it's obviously not going to be $40 million. But now he's going to be in a winning scenario. I really like the Clippers for next year. I think they'll be fun to watch. Defense, they'll be good on defense, and offensively they'll be good as well. Maybe it'll take a little bit for John Wall to mesh as this point guard role, and he's not going to be the main guy like he was in Washington. But that was a long time ago now. I think he definitely should have adjusted to his smaller role by now. So I think he'll fit in well with the Clippers, and I'm excited to see how they go next season.